Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us on Here Are Business Stories. We are tracking at this hour. I'm Michael Nath. The federal government has so far paid $4.04 billion to 5 international oil companies as cash coal arrears repayment and has spent 12.43 billion naira this year on pipeline protection and maintenance. The latest update on pipeline security maintenance costs obtained from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited showed that 12.43 billion naira was spent by the government through an NPC between January and June this year. Figures from the oil company indicated that pipeline security maintenance gulped 1.1 billion naira, 368 million naira, and 2.61 billion naira in January, February, and March 2022, respectively. The NNPC spent 498 million naira in May and 8.35 billion naira in June to secure and maintain its pipelines, while the firm subtracted 464 million naira in April from the total amount during the review period. Nigeria's crude oil production has continued to slump due to the repeated vandalism of pipelines and attendant theft of humongous volumes of crude. Nigeria's crude oil revenue has continued to slump as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries' newly released monthly oil market report for September revealed that the country's crude oil output fell to 900,000 barrels per day last month. According to the OPEC report, Nigeria's crude oil production dropped from 1 million barrels per day recorded in July to 900,000 barrels per day in August. This as the price of the country's crude grade Bonny Light also dropped by 10% within the space of 1 month, July and August. Bonny Light, which was sold for $117 billion in July, dropped to $106 billion in August. However, the country's revenue from crude oil rose significantly year on year as Bonny Light price rose by 64% between 2021 and August 2022. According to the report, the price of Bonny Light as of 2021 was $67 per barrel. However, this increased to $110 per barrel in August 2022. Production gradually crashed further to 1.3 million barrels per day at the beginning of 2021 and further to 1.2 million barrels per day in the first quarter of this year. The Securities and Exchange Commission has expressed its commitment to developing the commodities ecosystem in Nigeria to boost its non-oil sector. The Director General of SEC, Lamido Yuguda, said this at the 2022 annual conference of the Finance Correspondents Association of Nigeria in Lagos, with the theme Boosting Domestic Capacity for Sustainable Export Earnings. Yuguda, who was represented by the Director, Lagos Zonal Office of the Commission, Hafsat Rufia, noted that the development of the commodities ecosystem would help the country achieve its quest for sustainable foreign exchange earnings and economic development. He added that the country needed to focus on all the sustainable foreign exchange earning avenues of the capital market for the support of over the medium to long term, while noting that the non-oil sector's contribution to GDP had been significant. He said during the 2008 global financial crisis, the non-oil sector helped to absorb extra natural shocks caused by the declining oil revenue. Debt service gulped 6.16 trillion naira in 16 months, according to the 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper. In 2021, the federal government spent 4.22 trillion naira on debt service and a further 1.94 trillion naira between January and April 2022. A breakdown shows that domestic debt service costs 2.05 trillion naira, while foreign debt service gulped 946.29 billion naira in 2021. There was also a 600 million naira sinking fund and 1.22 trillion naira interest on Ways and Means, which is defined as the government borrowing from the Central Bank of Nigeria. In the first 4 months of 2022, domestic debt servicing costs was 1.2 trillion naira, whereas foreign debt service expenditure amounted to 334.24 billion naira. There was also a 405.93 billion naira interests in Ways and Means. The federal government further projected that debt servicing to cost 10.43 trillion naira by 2025. That's according to the 2023-25 MTEF FSP document. This is a 182.66% increase from the 3.69 trillion naira budgeted for debt service in 2022. However, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, and the Director General of the Debt Management Office, Patience Oniha, have insisted that the country does not have a debt problem, but a revenue challenge. Fifth-generation technology, commonly called 5G, is now available in Nigeria. MTN Nigeria Communications PLC commercially launched the fifth-generation technology, commonly called 5G, in Nigeria on Sunday. At the commercial launch event, guests were able to experience some of the use cases of 5G. This follows a pilot launch in August, keeping with Nigerian Communications Commission rollout guideline. With this commercial launch, 5G services are now available in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Ibadan, Kano, Owerri, and Maiduguri. In its half-year report, the firm revealed it had deployed 127 5G sites in preparation for its 5G launch. 5G is expected to be rolled out in phases, with full national coverage expected by 2025. The Nigeria Interbank Settlement System has revealed that bank customers in Nigeria transferred a total of 1.8 trillion naira over mobile devices in August this year. This came as an all-time high monthly value recorded since the development and deployment of the mobile inter-scheme platform. The August deals represent a 155% increase year-on-year compared to the 719 billion naira recorded in the same period of 2021. The data also shows an 18% growth of over 1.5 trillion naira recorded in July this year. According to the NIBSS, the volume of mobile inter-scheme transactions also rose by 150.75% year-on-year from 26.6 million naira recorded in August last year to 66.7 million in the same period this year. The surge in the use of mobile for financial transactions is buoyed by the rising mobile connections across the country. According to the Nigerian Communications Commission, active subscriptions for mobile services across the networks of MTN, Airtel, Globacom, and 9Mobile rose by 13.4 million between January and July this year, bringing the total actively connected lines in the country to 208 million. Nigeria's dependency on importation may close if proper efforts are placed on commodities that can be produced locally. This is a point argued by business analysts, according to Mr. Tajuddin Olayinka. Speaking on IBrand's Business Breakfast, he said there will be remedies to the country's import dependency if there can be improved yield in locally produced crops. He was making the agreement on the back of Nigeria's imported food inflation rate, hitting a 5-year high of 17.94% in August 2022, as over-reliance on food imports piles pressure on food prices.
What is responsible for this is, the issues around the globe, the both political and what have you. The Russia war, Russia war on Ukraine is actually responsible for the problem that we are having around the globe. So the moment that we have to import from all these economies, there is no way we can escape food inflation. So we are actually on our own importing inflation from other countries, especially importing food items that we don't have sufficiently available here, or we don't even have at all. So these are the factors. It's not the inflation is not coming from Nigeria this time around. Even though we have our own issue here, this one is coming from other countries that we depend on for for our import. So that's what they say is imported food inflation. Well, I think what happens is that some of them cannot be grown in Nigeria, and we had the even attempt to grow them in Nigeria, they cannot be grown competitively. What it means that even if you choose to grow them here, you still have to rely. In fact, the imported item might still come in much cheaper than what we're able to produce locally, because of the fact that the yield here may not be commensurate to the kind of yield they have in other environments. So even if you try to produce locally, for instance, look at wheat. We try to produce wheat here. Government has done things that make wheat production friendly in Nigeria, but even at that, we are not able to produce, or we don't have enough yield that will compete with the yield they have over there. For instance, if an hectare will give you certain tons, or let's say X tons of wheat, over there it may that same thing may give you two times X of that of what we're able to produce here. So that makes their own cheaper, cheaper than the one you can produce locally. So it's actually, yeah, some of them can be produced, but those that can be produced are actually, they are large in number, especially, wheat and some other items that we cannot produce locally.
The Managing Director, Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Abimbola Akinajo, has said the Lagos Rail Mass Transit Red Line rail system will carry its first passenger in the first quarter of 2023, when it is projected to commence passenger operations. A statement made available to the media on Sunday stated that the Red Line is a 37-kilometer railroad from Agbado, Ogun State, to Marina in central Lagos, but its first phase, Agbado to Oyingbo, is due to be completed by the end of the year 2022, and passenger operations are expected to commence within the first quarter of 2023. Akinajo, who was represented by the Director of Rail Transport, Ola Sukonmi Okusaga, said LAMATA is committed to ensuring that all civil infrastructure, rolling stocks and other infrastructure necessary for its smooth operations is ready before commissioning. Now, still to come, world shares slip as markets brace for more rate hikes. Details of this and more after this break. Stay with us.